So I may have been wrong for a while, but the Leatherman Supertool is really growing on me. And the more that I think about it, the more I think perhaps this could be very easily the king of multi-tools if, and we'll get to that in just a couple minutes. But let's go ahead, shift gears real quick, and I want to tell you why the Leatherman Surge has been so successful. It's this. It's this. It's this. And to some extent more, it's this, the T-shank holder. So all that is very accessible. You've got the pliers, you've got the inside implements, the screwdriver, and so forth, very easily accessible. And that is key to its success. Now, Tim Leatherman, 11 years after the company has started, comes out with the Supertool. It's a fantastic idea. It's essentially the PST stretched, more tools added, an even greater PST for the hardworking guy, the farmer, the mechanic, and all that. And it's a great tool. But one of the things as the years pass is people get used to the idea of outside accessible tools. So not a huge amount after the Leathermans start flooding the market. You have things like the tool saw made by Crescent, and these come in a 4.5-inch frame. They've got a very beefy plier head right here as well. So let's put this off to the side for a little bit. Got a very beefy plier head, and you've got a lot of longer tools. Now this one has definitely seen a lot of use. You have to buy this used anymore. You can't go to the store and buy this new, but very neat. And then there's a very similar model made by Baron Sons, the Super Jaws, that actually has a locking mechanism. And one of the beautiful things about these is they've got a great plier head, and you can access all the tools on the outside. So what you have is a very easily manipulated Supertool 300, essentially. Now, Leatherman will eventually take Baron Sons to court, perhaps Crescent as well, and eventually they disappear and you don't see them anymore. But the concept still remains alive, and do you know where it goes to? It goes overseas, and Victorinox, as the story goes, buys Baron Sons, and the Swiss tool becomes the Supertool 300 with outside opening tools. Now, I have to say that mine is a little stiff to get these tools, so it's still not extremely easy. But again, it is more easier than opening the handles and pulling them out yet another step. So the Swiss tool has been around since I think about 1998 or so. I'd have to check the dates, but maybe it's a little bit later than that it comes out. But it's been around for a while, I think a good 20 years at least. And not too much has changed because it's a very good concept. All right, so let's bring back in the Surge and the Supertool 300. So is the Surge the Victorinox Swiss tool? Well, no, its tools are not all on the outside. Is it the Leatherman 300? No. It has some tools on the outside. So the Leatherman Surge is good enough in its hybrid form. It's sort of half all outside opening tools and half all inside opening tools to some extent. And so in its hybrid form, a lot of people are satisfied enough. It doesn't take that long. A lot of people want instant access to the knife or the scissors or the saw. And so they're willing to open the pliers up and access the screwdrivers and so forth. So I think that is what has made the Leatherman Surge so successful. Now, I have no clue the number of sales that the Supertool does, but I would imagine it is a lot less than the Surge because this is an older tool. Now, some people love that. Some people will love that traditional aspect to it, and that's fine. But I think for a lot of people, it will be a little bit of a hindrance that all these tools, you have to open the handles and access them. Should Leatherman change the Supertool 300? I'm going to say no, because a lot of people will be very disappointed. Some people have mentioned that because all the tools are enclosed, it's a lot heavier duty. So for people perhaps excavating out in the woods, if you drop this, then all the tools are sort of covered up and it is an extra protective layer. But for the mass majority of people that don't need, an indestructible multi-tool, they're looking for simply something easy and more opportunistic to use, I think Leatherman needs to change the Leatherman Supertool 300 EOD and the Supertool 300M. And I think they need to make these outside opening tools. Now, I foresee in the future that Leatherman will just discontinue this line altogether. Unfortunately, Leatherman's been axing a lot of products. And these I see as probably some more to go because they have some specialized components. With this one right here, I think this is the only tool that uses this T-shank adapter. Now, the Surge uses it, but it's in an outside format. This is an inside format. I don't think a lot of people even know this exists, unfortunately, on the EOD version. And then it also has the C4 spike. I don't think a lot of people find the C4 spike that useful. Now, on the M series, again, this has, I think, the only pry tool and almost like this nail puller tool on any Leatherman. So again, unfortunately, I think Leatherman will discontinue this because it has some of these tools you can't really find anywhere else. It has this very unique awl that is very long as well. And then this one actually does come with a bit driver. So I think Leatherman will pare these down and get rid of these in the next coming years. Maybe it'll take 5 years. Maybe it'll be next year. Maybe it will be next month. Who knows? But I do foresee that happening. But I think what would be a lot better would be if Leatherman would turn these into what the Swiss tool is. So make it so that the pliers fold on the inside and you have all these outside accessible tools. Now, what do you have to do? Well, as you can see in the Swiss tool, you have to cut the frame and then you leave the lock and then you have room for the plier head to close. And they might have to adjust the tool set. There might have to be, some of these tools might have to change. I'm not sure if they would though, because the plier is already, the plier head already rests on the inside, but there might have to be some adjustment, but I would love to see that happen. So let's see what other tools are similar to the Supertool 300, but are outside accessible and are very easy to use. So what we have in the market, no longer do we have the Crescent or the Bear Jaws. Those are no longer on the market. But what we do have is these three products. And forever I've been saying these are Surge competitors. I'm not sure if they are. I think to some extent they're Leatherman Supertool competitors because they all have essentially a tool complement on one side of the handle and then a plier head, sort of just like the Supertool, except, it's on the inside instead of the outside. So again, we've talked about the Victorinox, the Swiss tool, and this is an older tool complement. It's been, this is a very older tool, but one of the great things about this is just because the tools are on the outside doesn't mean you get a tiny amount of tools. So you've got a pretty long awl. You've got some nice scissor blades. Now, mine has been chipped. Why I'm not sending this in to be repaired by Victorinox, I know they have lifetime warranty, is because I did not buy this. I bought this off eBay. So I really don't want to cheat the system, and I'm fine with that. So there's the saw, there's the file, there's the knives serrated and the straight, and then you have various screwdrivers, chisel, I believe, and then you do have this Phillips and all the micro driver as well. So you've got a lot of very nice complements, even though they're outside opening, and this I believe does come in a lot lighter than the Supertool 300. Now, one of the other things I like about it, when you change it to outside opening, is you get to have more comfortable handles, I would say. So with this, I know I know there's that argument about, well, it protects the tools, but I think the other argument can be made is it's not as comfortable to hold in the hand. You know, with the Surge, it's a lot more comfortable than the Supertool 300. It's just really hard to compare. They're a lot more comfortable. I would say, again, the Swiss tool is a lot more comfortable than the Supertool 300. Maybe there's not a huge amount of difference, but still, the way these corners are rounded when you don't have to have them outside opening, or inside opening rather, I think it just makes it more comfortable. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. And the next one I want to talk about is the Beta tool. And I think this is an excellent example of what the Leatherman Supertool 300 could be. Again, I thought this was just a Surge competitor, but I'm not sure it is. I think it might be, again, more of a Supertool competitor. You've got these comfortable handles. This is even more comfortable, I think, than the Swiss tool. They're nicely rounded, and it's just pretty comfortable to use. You can get a lot of grip on it. Fairly beefy set of pliers right there. And then you fold this up, and then you've got everything at your fingertips. You've got these little levers so that you can easily access these tools right here. And then you get a really nice amount of space on the outside right here. So you've got a fairly nice complement. Again, you've got two knives, you've got a file, you've got the saw, several screwdrivers, wrenches, can openers, and so forth. And I believe there's a set of scissors on here as well, right here. So that's nice as well, but you've got a lot of space. So let's go ahead and compare the handle space. And right here, again, it is fairly close to whether it's outside opening or inside opening. There's not a huge difference. So anyway, I think that is another excellent way that the Supertool could really just charge into the future, and I think that'd be fantastic. And then we also have the SOG Power Access Assist. So this has dropped down to $40. I don't know if the sale is still going on Amazon, but that is just, unbelievable. Here is a tool, again, essentially the size of the Supertool for $40. That's insane. But again, beautifully smooth pliers. And then you've got these assisted blades right here. And then you're able to basically just flip these tools out. Very easy to get to them. You have you've got the saw, the serrated blade. You do have the hook and then the knife. And then again, you have different sizes of screwdrivers, can openers, and then on this side, you do have the ability to put that 1/4-inch adapter on there, the awl, and then the screwdriver as well. So all kinds of great options. Of course, the 1/4-inch bit driver on the end as well. So I think I would love to see Leatherman do this. Again, take the tool set from the M and the EOD, save the Supertool 300 the way it is. There's a lot of people that love it just that way, but take these sort of stranger tools. I don't think a lot of people are buying these, and make them, again, something like these outside opening tools. And I think that would be a great way. I would love that. And I actually might carry that to work, the new version of the Supertool, every day. Let me know what you think. I'll be looking forward to it.